can't contain my excitement. The Germans are out again.
The boys are back. 2 Lions, 1 Dragon. The journey continues. Qatar 2022. Listen on Spotify and YouTube.
We are back for the 3rd episode of the 2 Lions, 1 Dragon podcast. Gentlemen, it's been a while. How are we?
Great. That didn't sound very convincing, Trig. Are you sure you're okay?
Football sometimes is a cruel mistress.
It is a cruel mistress, and
Speaking
I'm
of
going
mistress.
to get onto that very, very shortly. But what I wanted to talk about is because life and winter, with a stupid Winter World Cup, gets in the way. We've struggled for a bit of diary management, and we didn't even get a chance to catch up on the second games. So I think we'll just do a blanket. They were shit, and we can move on if you want.
Well, Wales were very poor. I think it summed up their World Cup really. I keep looking at their stats, and I think they only had 5 shots on target the whole tournament. They scored 1 goal, which was a penalty. They finished with 1 point, bottom of the group behind Iran. So from Trig's point of view, I think the less said about it, the better. However, England were fucking amazing. Marcus Rashford, free kick. What a bloody goal. The way he turned Ben Davies inside out for that 3rd goal as well. And Phil Foden, what a beautiful man. I said at the start of the podcast, our success in this tournament is reliant on how well Phil Foden plays. And if he doesn't start against Senegal on Sunday, there's issues with me and Mr. Southgate.
Also, before I let you jump in there, Matthew, I will say we haven't done it. We always seem to forget it, and it's my time to do it. So, just to let you know, dear listener, lovely people, there may be some naughty, naughty words during this podcast, especially if Charles decides to wind up Trig about Wales' performance at this tournament. So, just to let you know, that's a little pre-warning. So please don't write into Charles at 2lions1dragon podcast.com because we won't reply. So there we go. And back on to the nitty gritty. Yes, poor performance against Iran. Disappointing performance for you against England, Trig. Go on, give us your verdict.
Load of shit, wasn't
it? Well, throughout the day, I was messaging Trig and I was thinking, do I go and watch the game with him? But he was out with his Welsh chums, and I was just like, oh, maybe I won't, just in case they do turn us over.
The problem
chums.
Chums. Some rummy chums. The problem is before the game, it was a near impossible task anyway. And also considering the golfing class between Wales and England, I think the whole thing was a disappointment. I think we did well to get there. There's a divide in the Welsh fans at the moment where people are saying that, yeah, we got there, we've got to be proud of ourselves, yada yada yada, and then there's another half that says, yeah, we got there, but we were at the garbage, yada yada yada, which is both sides have their warranted arguments. I see the truth in both sides. I mean, whether you're when you want to play with the big boys, you have to play well. Otherwise, you're going to look like an utter pile of garbage, to keep it PG. Yeah.
Say shit.
It was shit.
Let it out, Trig. This is your chance to let it out. Rant
no,
it
do you
out.
know what? It's pretty surreal to see them on the world stage, let alone at the big European stage. And we've advertised Wales as a nation on the whole, which is, it can only be a positive, really.
I think,
and that's what I'm going to say on it.
I would jump in
can't get worse
and say, yes, it was a disappointing performance from some players. For me, some of them looked a little bit unfit, didn't look quite at the races, and they were some of your key players, which sort of didn't help. But it's about building on this now. You were the smallest team at the World Cup. It's your first time in 64 years, so it's about building on that now. The
Hang
only
on,
thing
there's
is,
no
I
way
want to
there's
ask
no way
you.
they're smaller than Qatar, right? Surely
I'm
they
just
Smallest
can't
reading
nation
the
to
stats from
qualify.
where I've got the stats. Don't blame the stats.
Loves the stat, there's our Luke.
Yeah. Can I just? I was going to say before I was rudely interrupted, is
I
that
apologise.
yes, so you should. One question for you, and again, I think it's a very much a divide between Welsh fans. Is Page, does he stay or does he go? Because I've seen a lot of debate on Twitter. Some saying, "Oh well, because of the
Got
performance."
it before me, Trig.
Go on.
Should he
Does
stay
he
or should he
stay?
go now?
Um,
Hang on, I'm going to
I
pause you
think
there. Costa Rica have beaten Germany 2-1. Sorry, go on.
it's this World Cup is full of up and downs, and I love it. Robbie Page, should he stay or should he go? I think he should go, not for the reason that he hasn't done anything for Welsh football, because he's taken us to a World Cup. Bubba, well done. But I think the performances going into the World Cup weren't great. I think we lack a bit going forward in terms of creativity. I think we have some players who can create. But like I said in the first episode, I think it was a bit of a swan song to a couple of older players. Your Ramsey's, whose career is in a now steep decline, along with Bale's. I think
Joe Allen.
they'll get.
Is that the
Hang
last
on.
time we see those three in a Wales shirt?
I don't think we'll see much of Joe Allen anymore. I think Ramsey and Bale be in around the squad for the experience and what they've won. But I think it sounds and feels like, from outside of a Wales perspective, that it's rock bottom. You know, you're out of the World Cup. You know, bottom of the group, got 1 point. But I'm like, eh.
I think a lot of that has come though from what the players were saying. You know, the first interview was, "Oh, I can't wait to knock England out." You know, keep them all of a
Yeah,
sudden.
I
Then
think that's
that
some of
other guy.
Your English-born players who are kind of like jumping on the what rivalry thing where, of course we would have loved to beat England and not England out. Who wouldn't want to do that? I mean, you did and loved knocking us out. I mean, but I'm like, if you go on TV and say that and put enough passion into it, when you do knock us out, we're gonna look like fucking stupid people.
Yeah.
But
So
the thing is though, it's that was the focus from the start. It seemed that we're knocking England out, but you got to get to that point first. Like, I don't know why they played so bad in the first half against USA, and then so bad for the full 90 minutes against Iran. Like Bale, Ramsey, you look at your top players, you want them performing on the stage, and fucking hell, the tables just come up, right? If the scores remain the same, Japan and Costa Rica are going through. Oh, fucking
Jesus.
Jesus.
Costa Rica.
I really hope that goes ahead.
Sorry, we've got some live. It's like Soccer Saturday here
Live
today.
coverage.
Alright.
Back to you,
Soccer
Jeff.
Saturday. But anyway,
I
yeah,
think
back
it's more
back to
like
the point about Robert Page. I think he's got to go. He's got to go, Robert Page.
There for a good time, not a long time. And I said that for the past 3 weeks. Up a boys. Up a boys.
Poor guy. But yeah, so now the next game for England is Senegal. So quickly on that one before we move on to some of the more interesting and fun topics, because we can just become an analyst show, and that's not what we are. We are here for a fun time, not a long time as well.
Much like the Wales football team.
Oh, wow. See that little segue there. So Senegal, bit of an indifferent tournament so far, a bit mixed from them. I'm going to go to you first, Charlie, for a score prediction.
I got to give it to the Senegalese. They've been very energetic this tournament. They beat Ecuador. I thought Ecuador were going to qualify from the group. But yeah, I want to sing those words, and if we get to the quarterfinal, I'll start singing them. But yeah, I think surely we've got the quality to beat a team like Senegal. So in terms of prediction, I'm going 2-0. And it'd be interesting to see if James Maddison will get some game time, because he's fit
It
again
will
now.
be interesting. I think if we are winning at a certain point, there may be a bit of rotation. Sorry, can you hear the dog howling in the background?
No.
Thank God for that. Makes me mute.
I can't know. I can't know. Sounds
very
Welsh.
cautious.
Have you got a Welsh dog?
Oh.
What were you going to say? Let's go back to the score predictions. So 2-0, did you say there, Charlie?
Yes, 2-0, and it'd be nice to see James Maddison get some game time.
It's cautious.
What you were going to jump in there, Trig?
Yeah,
cautious, is that?
I'd say it's a cautious approach. I think Ecuador kind of not Ecuador. We're not playing Ecuador. Ecuador are out. So we're all having fun. Senegal, I think they flourish off where a game is chaotic, where both sides are kind of not going for it, but they're not holding back.
Going for it.
But we're not taking many risks. But I think if England control the game, play the game well, use the ball well, I think it'll easily be a 3-0, 3-1 England.
Let's not forget though, Senegal have got some Premier League players in their side. Edouard Mendy.
So Wales.
Who's the others?
They got that.
They haven't got their key man in terms of Sadio Mane, and I think that is only a plus for England.
Absolutely.
I think, like Trig says, actually, I think if they control the game, it may be very much a similar approach to Wales. Just keep doing what you're doing, keep sticking to the plan, and then hopefully you'll break the door down eventually. So I might go 3-0.
Ooh, I think this England team has patience. They've played in a lot of games where they know how to manage the games now because of what's happened in Russia and the Euros. And they go back to your point about the USA game. We came out of that game in a very strong position still to qualify. We had to concede 4 goals and we had to lose the game. So Southgate is getting us through the group stages. Let's hope he can keep getting us through the knockout stages, because it goes back to, as long as we win the game, we don't bloody care how we win it, as long as we're still there and enjoying it.
Exactly that. And now one thing, we are going to move on into some different topics now. And I want to ask you, this World Cup, as we've touched on already, is throwing up curveballs left, right, and in the centre. So I want to ask you two gentlemen, who do you think looks the strongest team of this World Cup so far? Because I haven't got a fucking clue.
Do you know what?
Take it away, Matthew.
Before this, right, I was going to say, you know what? Spain are looking good. Hammer in Costa Rica, played well against Germany, even though they conceded a late equaliser and were shit in the second half. But now they go and losing to Japan. But then you go, oh look, France, done well the first 2 games. Go and lose to Tunisia. What the fuck's that about? Then you got Brazil beat Serbia, done well that game, and go and have a shit game against Switzerland. Who else we got? Netherlands struggled. Portugal. I don't even know they played in the second game, but they probably struggled.
Uruguay.
Argentina struggled.
Fucking Uruguay. What a load of shite. Argentina, though. They done well against
Mexico
Poland
last night. Oh, yeah, Poland they played, didn't they?
Yeah.
On Poland, I think that is a lovely little segue. We'll come back.
Well done, Matthew.
We'll come back to this, but it's a lovely little segue, because how would you feel about going through on frigging yellow cards? What a stupid.
Someone's got to go home. Someone's got to go through, and if that's the way you do it,
What was it? They were awful last night. Poland were.
It was
they had
tied
3
on
more
points.
Yellows on it.
Yeah, and they were tied on goal difference.
And it goes
head to heads, and they drew. I don't know why head to head's a thing in the group stage, because you only play each other once. Bollocks. And then surely, like, as a football fan, you want attractive, fluid football, attacking football. Yellow cards, nobody gives a fuck about yellow cards. Just go shot on target. Whoever gets the most shot on target, go through. Done.
It was between France and Spain for me, who were the best teams of the tournament so far. But then France were particularly poor in the first half against Australia. Look vulnerable at the back. Then they were poor last night, and then Spain tonight have absolutely done me over. So I have no idea.
I think the team that's going to win this is going to be the team that's got the best team spirit. And Argentina look like they got some good team spirit going on. I think the Brazilians look like they've got a bit of team spirit going on. And I think England, we'll be there. I think we will be around. I think France will make it to quarters and we'll beat them. I do. I feel confident in that. It's whether we can go the next step then. because we could be playing someone like Portugal in the semis, and I
We
think
haven't mentioned Portugal.
Portugal,
Those balls underlined.
they've got.
And
I'm
in
confident.
italic.
I'm confident. No strike throughs yet, mate. No strike
Although
throughs yet.
we haven't finished the group stage yet, so I would
Exactly,
think if Brazil put a big, like a strong performance in against whoever they got last and then get in the group
they're
stage.
playing Cameroon though, aren't they? So
Yeah, I think if Brazil come out strong and fast and hit Cameroon, hard. I think they'll be one of the favourites. But like you said, have Brazil really been tested? I don't think they have.
Let's go left field.
Let's go left field.
We're on a tangent.
I
love a tangent.
I can't pinpoint my favourite game of the World Cup so far. I can't nail it down, and for me, it's probably England-Iran because that's had the most goals.
One was my favourite.
I know it's probably your favourite. Which one? But apart from the England-Iran game, you can't really It's not a memorable game, really, is there? Apart from the Saudi beating Argentina.
And the Spain 7-0.
I think for me, I would probably agree England-Iran just for the sheer amount of goals, and it was nice to see England playing that way. But I also really enjoyed, and part of this was because of Alan McCoist's brilliant commentary, but the Japan-Germany game.
Yeah.
I thought, and again, it's wrong with me, but every time Germany lose to a team that they're expected to be, it's thoroughly enjoyable. So that was probably for me.
Yeah.
Charlie?
Oh, the standout game at the moment is what you're saying. Okay, yeah.
Well, that's the tangent we're on, so let's try and stick
Thanks for concentrating. Fucking hell.
There's a hell of a game going on here, boys. I think like the Saudi Arabia Argentina game for me. You know, Argentina came into the tournament with all this expectation. I think it was on the second or third day of the tournament. You know, Saudi Arabia, they brought their fans over. They're next door to Qatar, aren't they? Obviously, the links to Newcastle as well, so I've got to show me support there.
Oh my God. Is this your attempt to get Newcastle in every episode?
Dan Burn,
I'm on it. Well, there's room now in the England squad for Dan Burn. Now Ben White's gone. But anyway, yeah, Saudi Arabia, that game against Argentina, they come out second half, showed the passion. It's what the World Cup's about, you know, big upsets. You love to see it. Great goals as well. They scored cracking goals against a Premier League goalkeeper and a load of players that play in top leagues along across the universe, the multiverse. But however, but after that game, Argentina have come into their own. I think Messi, he's looking good, but how well Argentina do is very reliant on Messi. But that was my game. Saudi Arabia.
Oh, here's a little topic. Sorry, Luke, I'm putting in again.
No, go on.
We've missed.
There's lots to talk about.
I know there is. We've missed a lot. The old Ronaldo goal gate. Did he score? Did he not?
Oh no, absolutely not. What a fucking farce that is.
I'm gonna drop my first C word of the thing, but Ronaldo is a right, and I gotta put emphasis on the C, right? You can cut it if you want to bleep it. I don't care.
I thought you were say crisps.
One absolute arrogant cock. I scored with a slither on my head. Don't matter, does it? Your country scored.
I'll tell you what you needed. You needed that little blonde spaghetti bit. That would have had it, wouldn't it? Remember that?
He wanted the R9 tuft. That's what he needed, just to get a cushion. Yeah, I mean,
him, and I think that's even with more telling with his interview with another knobhead that is Piers Morgan. But
there's a question for you though. Like, as a Portuguese player in the team with Ronaldo, would it annoy you that like all the focus is always on Ronaldo?
Yeah, 100%.
I wouldn't, because there's not really any pressure on you then, is there? From an outside perspective. I mean, on the training ground, the pressure's on you because you're a professional footballer and you got to play well. But if 90 minutes, all the media's attention's on Ronaldo, you're just in the background, just like, yeah, this is all right. Especially at a World Cup, because you're just João Cancelo crossing balls for a fucking living.
I see it in a different sense, in that Messi it's on him because he is brilliant, whereas Ronaldo is brilliant, but then he almost contrives situations to make it about him, like this Piers Morgan interview. And I love Ronaldo. I think he's a brilliant player, fantastic athlete, does a lot of great things.
He was a brilliant player,
but
yeah,
it's almost he's going. He's realizing it's the end, coming to the end of his career, and he's
He's a
not going
brand
graciously
now,
at
isn't
all.
he?
He can't
He's
take the
Yeah.
he's focusing on his brand more than like, oh, I'm CR7, you know.
Yeah.
Thing is though,
It's
like
about that.
age
just
comes to us
there's
all.
more people towards Messi. You know, Messi, he does what he does, and he doesn't do anything off the pitch. You know, like he goes under the radar, so he just gets on with it.
I think
You know,
we know if in the argument within this podcast, I definitely know that Trig is definitely Camp Messi over Ronaldo. Charlie,
yeah,
yours?
we can all agree that the GOAT is Alan Shearer. Yeah.
I still
No,
stand
yeah.
by.
Only when he played for Southampton and Blackburn, his
I
Newcastle, he
tell
was
you what,
shite.
I enjoy watching Messi more than I enjoy watching Ronaldo.
We have
Do you
gone
know?
on 2 brilliant tangents, thank you to Trig, and I have now proposed some more because we love a tangent on this show, and there is one that sort of links into what we've just been talking about. Now, I want to ask you two, which is the best kit you have ever seen, or which is your favourite kit that you have seen at a World Cup? I will do a little rundown because I've done some research into this, hence why I was late for this podcast. But there has been some research, and I will give you a little rundown. I'll give you some time to think. France '98 home kit, lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Cameroon
the
home
kit you
kit
think of.
of 2002 without the sleeves. Big fan.
Sleeveless. Loves it.
Nigeria kit 2018. Sold.
Memorable.
Sold out off the shelves. Couldn't get it anywhere for love nor money. The
All those bloody
England
Nigerian
98
princes.
kit. The England 98 kit for me, in particular, the red one. Loved it. Loved it.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
Also, as I'm wearing tonight, the England 1990 home kit. Big fan of that one. And I will put it out there. I absolutely love the Wales kit from this year. I think it's beautiful. I said it the other night, and that was the only compliment I had for Wales's performance, unfortunately, Trig. So apologies.
If they go out, they're going out looking good.
I think, again, there's a few more. The Brazil 2002 kit. I love that one. Italy 2002 kit. Kappa. It was a Kappa. Loved the tight kit, and I loved
tight,
Kappa.
yeah.
They were brilliant.
Wales had one of those, didn't they? Wales had one of those.
Yes.
It's at Mammy's house.
I think didn't John Hartson have to be cut out of his or something once?
Probably.
And then the final one, and this is a bit of a blast from the past, and this is partly because of research, and I knew I'd seen it, but I couldn't remember which year it was. Holland '94. That was a beautiful kit as well. Give it a Google if you can't remember, because it is wonderful.
Is that the Van Basten?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's very much before our time, but if just on purely looks, it is beautiful. So I know you've done a lot of agreeing, but are there any kits that stand out to you two? Because I know obviously there's been a lot of England World Cup kits, Charlie, that you've tried to rock out during the podcast. So anything for you?
I do like, I do like the Argentina kits. I can't lie. I do like the blue and white stripes that I put together. Specifically the 2006 World Cup one, I think. You know, when they had the sort of, it was like the blue on the shoulders as well.
Yeah.
Flooded over a bit. I did like that one. And I think was that Messi's first World Cup? Can't remember.
Oh, but maybe, yeah. No, probably.
No, he wasn't at 2002, was he?
2002, yeah.
Batistuta and all that. So it would have been 2006 in Germany. You know, you've got iconic Germany kits, but the less said about them, the better. We know the history between the Germans and wearing uniforms.
Don't mention that.
However, moving on swiftly.
God.
Yeah, the Argentina for me. I do.
I can tell you exactly my favourite, and it's going to piss you both off. But, and I can't remember. I don't know if he's wearing this exact kit, but I think it's from the World Cup. The Hand of God shirt. I tell you, what a fucking shirt. Honestly, I don't know.
That's the name of the podcast right there.
I don't know if it's the full blue one, and don't mean that one. The stripy 80s Maradona
with the sun on it.
Just honestly,
I know what you
seeing Maradona grace around in that, just grace around. putting
and
that
grazing
shirt.
around on football pitches that were like bogs as well. They were cut up and everything.
I mean, it's timeless. If you're on about timeless, just timeless. And
Yeah.
you know the one with the German one where it kind of comes down as a V and
Yes,
then goes across
zigzags.
the shirt. The ziggy zag one, that was good.
Ziggy-zagar.
That was, I say, my top three, and it's a controversial one, but it's one of the vivid ones I remember.
Love controversy.
You know,
on the
I
podcast.
think it's I'm not sure if it's a 2002. It might be where all the night kits had a circle in the middle with their numbers.
Oh, that Portugal one.
Yeah, the Portugal one and the Dutch one.
Yes.
The Dutch one slapped for me for
orange and black.
no reason at all. But was it? It was orange and white.
It was orange and white. It was different.
Was
but because they normally go orange and black.
Because it was the Ronaldo wink, wasn't it? Or was that 2000? I think it might have been 2006.
No, I think what you're referring to 2004, right? I'm sure it was because it was when we got knocked out.
Might have been 2004.
2004 in the Euros because I remember the Holland
during
that time, and they beat Germany 3-0.
Yeah, going on.
But
yeah,
that was a beautiful kit as well.
I go Argentina, Maradona 1, Germany just for pure. I think they're all, apart from obviously the Nike ones, the top two are Adidas, and I think they're just timeless. And
they were the Joga Benito tops, weren't they?
Though Joga Benito's at 3, whatever time period they were. Yeah.
Total 90s, remember them?
Oh, I love the Total 90s.
That Premier League ball, wasn't it? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, nostalgia flooding through this podcast.
I feel old.
You love to see it.
I'll put it in my veins.
We're loving a tangent tonight, and there is one thing that we've sort of talked about in the 2 Lions, 1 Dragon WhatsApp group. We've sort of dabbled about it a little bit as a possible topic, and I think it's one that is appropriate because we've talked about how no team has stood out in terms of football performance, but the World Cup is an opportunity to showcase to showcase your country,
the grandest stage of them all.
And what I want to ask you now is, what is your favourite nation for food from this World Cup? So, is it Spain with paella? We can't go to Italy, and that's one of my favourite types.
I'm going to jump in with Japan. They've just qualified.
Yes. Sexy.
But
yeah,
also sushi. I like sushi.
We love a tangent. We love a tangent.
If it's not pie and chips from England, we're going sushi from Japan.
Is that the dish you're going for, pie and chips for England?
No. Well, for England.
Pie and chips from the bay.
Or me custard creams and me cup of tea. Orange chips. No. Sushi I'm going for from Japan. Love a bit of sushi.
Cool.
Because India aren't in the World Cup, otherwise I would have gone for a curry.
India is a football nation. For a nation that's got over 1 billion people, garbage. Don't know how they're not good at football.
They got no grass.
Trying to play cricket.
Grass, they can't train.
This podcast is not going to do well in India.
None of them know football anyway. It's like, oh, Ronaldo, fuck off. As a food, obviously, I do love the sushi.
I know you love tapas.
I do like what? I got it on. Yeah, I do like tapas. Bollocks. Yeah, I like tapas.
Bollocks.
I'm trying to think of who's left. Obviously, not
also
France.
An Argentinian steakhouse.
Argentinian steakhouse.
Tex-Mex,
yeah.
Mexican food.
I think because not going for Charlie, because he's killed Japan. I think that would have been my answer if you didn't have it. I think I love a burrito. I love a burrito. Me. I'm gonna go Mexico. I'm gonna go Mexico.
What are you putting in it? What's your ideal Mexican burrito fillings?
I think
that's really taking a tangent now.
Yeah, so you gotta have rice, right? There's a steak.
Oh, got to have.
You gotta have a wrap.
Foundation to build it upon.
That's not a burrito if you don't have a wrap. You gotta have some beans in there. Ooh, do you know what? Controversial. I like golden rice in my burrito. Controversial, I know. Right, beans in there, right? You gotta have your
rum in that Coke.
Your salsa, your sour cream, all of them. Oh, lovely, isn't it? But then,
sir.
I do like pulled beef burrito. Oh, barbecue sauce. Pulled beef. You ever had pulled beef? Oh, mouth's watering. You've got your pulled pork. That's generic.
I never heard.
Put that aside.
Put any sour cream in there? What?
Are we talking brisket?
Yeah, pulled beef brisket.
Oh,
I mean,
I
I'm
love it.
watering. I can't speak, but yeah, burrito, enchiladas, fajitas,
And
chimichangas, empanadas,
before
tortillas.
before we jump on the loops, I can't contain my excitement. The Germans are out
Germans are,
again.
the Germans are out.
Give us the scores on the
Alfreda's
doors, Charles.
Germany 4, Costa Rica 2.
What was
They're
the
out.
Japan score then?
2-1 to Japan. Spain go through second, which means, unfortunately, hang on, let me just check this.
Who
Group
goes to
E,
top? Japan.
which means that Spain are on our side of the fucking knockouts. It just gets more difficult, doesn't it?
Raise a glass. Go the Japanese. Coming back from a tangent, Luke, what would your favourite food be?
They're
For the
crying.
nations of the World Cup.
So, as I mentioned, Italy aren't here, so I can't go to a lovely bit of pasta. But you've mentioned Mexico, absolutely love it. But I have to say, do like a bit of paella, and I love a bit of tapas because I just like a lot of food, and I like lots of options. And for someone who's incredibly picky when a menu comes, tapas is the best thing ever.
I'll tell you, well, Trig, do you remember the first time I went out for tapas?
Did you order like 30 plates?
Yeah, apparently
Yeah,
they only recommend 3 plates. We ended up with a table full, didn't we?
There was at least, I think, probably 20 plates of tapas.
And that was just for me.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
But anyway, I'm put down now.
You're wearing a Kappa shirt that night, weren't you?
I couldn't get it off.
No. We couldn't get it on.
I think, gentlemen, we have absolutely motored through normal topics, our tangent topics.
A tangent topic. I love it.
And we've got a challenge.
It's all about the tangent tonight, isn't it? It was all about the tangent.
We've got a challenge for the next podcast. So it's a little teaser for all those listeners, and they can send in their examples as well. But following the Mexico goal last night, and what a free kick that was, I want to set you a challenge as for the next podcast, so you can do your warm-ups.
However, could this be a social media challenge that we put it out on social media, Luke?
Yes, well, it can, but you just rudely interrupted me again, you prick.
Sorry, I'm excited. The Germans are out.
But it is a challenge where you have to adopt your inner South American commentator and do the longest goal announcement that you can possibly do. We won't do it tonight because there are children sleeping in some of these households, and we don't want to make Matthew any angrier than he already is because Wales are no longer in the World Cup. But
the only way to make Matthew happy is by liking and subscribing to this episode and podcast.
Yes,
where can we do that?
Tell people how they can listen, share, tell the chums, as you so well put it earlier, how they can listen to the 2 Lions, 1 Dragon podcast.
All right, chums. First of all, I'd like to thank you for listening to the podcast so far and showing your support over on Instagram, on TikTok, YouTube, Spotify. It's great to have you listening. And yeah, we'd like you to keep on sharing. It's great. Thanks for your help. Check us out, 2 Lions, 1 Dragon podcast, all over the socials, and listen on Spotify and YouTube, please. Thank you.
Why have you gone Matt Lucas in Little Britain when, you know, the woman when he said, dust anybody? That was you. That was you.
A little bit of dust. A little bit of dust.
I had about 3 different accents then, but that's fine.
You did.
It's been a while.
The internal eye roll was huge.
In the back of your head. There we are. Thanks for listening.
There you go, gentlemen. That is, as they call it in the business, a wrap.
A burrito.
It's a burrito.
It's a burrito.
Salsa guac with golden rice. Don't forget. Your ear first.
Oh.